Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is David Webb and I created this channel to give you the best tips on writing and creativity so you can finally finish that book or have that creative career that you've always dreamed of. Back today with another session of 3 books that every writer should read. Let's get started. Welcome back, David Webb here. Hope you enjoyed that trailer as much as I enjoyed making it. Big thanks to Mariah Grabish and Fallon Danita for providing their lovely voices. I am so incredibly excited to get this 3rd book out to you. It's been in the works for a very long time, and I was this close to not being able to finish it. I basically chose to rewrite the entire second half of the book. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. Can't wait for you to read it, so be sure to click the link in the description below to check it out for yourself. Without any further ado, let's get started. For those of you just joining me, I go through this list and provide 1 book on writing craft, 1 book on personal development, and then 1 fiction book that I've personally enjoyed and think you should check out. So let's get started. Number 1, Story by Robert McKee. There's really not much that I can say about this book because I'd be here for a very long time. The short version is that the book is a masterclass on storytelling, and I believe that every writer should read it. It is a hefty volume filled with advice of all kinds, written by a veteran screenwriter who has taught some of the best writers in the industry today. Some of his students include the writers of movies like Forrest Gump and Air Force One, among other ones that you would surely recognize. Suffice it to say, the guy knows what he's talking about. The book was originally written to screenwriters, but just about every concept that he writes applies perfectly to writers of any kind. So do yourself a favor and check out this book. Number 2, Yourself by Gary John Bishop. What was that? I think I just lost a subscriber. Have no fear, I do not curse, I don't plan to. If you want an instant replay of what I actually said, here you go. Yourself. For those of you who are still watching, thank you for sticking around. Let me explain myself. That book is an incredible resource to people who feel that they are stuck in life. Gary John Bishop takes the approach of personal assertions. Now you might read this as affirmations, which is a popular tactic that people use to alter their psychology. And before you go thinking that that's nonsense, it's actual science, it's proven, and it can work to a certain extent. If you don't believe me, go do a quick Google search. You'll find plenty of information to back it up. Affirmations are a great tool, and they will work for most people if you use them right. That said, they only work so far, they only do so much. And depending on how you think, they may not work as well as you'd like them to. That's why Gary John Bishop takes the tactic of talking about assertions. Without going too far into it, these are concrete statements that you can say about yourself that are actually true. Whereas with an affirmation, you can say, I am a tiger, to enforce that animalistic side of you to come out a little bit more. And that can work for some people. It can. But Gary John Bishop takes a different approach. He encourages assertions, saying firm statements about yourself that are true already. He goes through a list of personal assertions that he encourages everyone to use, and he backs them up with fact, with science. I guarantee you, if you read this book, you'll learn things about yourself that you had no idea. You'll be so much more informed about the way you think, and you'll actually be inspired to change. It is a really cool book. And if you're turned off at all by cursing in a book, I encourage you to just give this a shot. He really doesn't curse that much. He definitely curses, but not as much as you might think. And trust me, it took a long time for me to read this book myself, because as a rule, I won't read books with such clickbaity titles that are just titled the way they are to get your attention. But it was so highly rated that I couldn't ignore it. And I'm so glad that I read it. So do yourself a favor, check this book out. And if you really want an experience, listen to it on Audible. Listen to the guy actually read it out himself, because first of all, he has a really sick Scottish accent that's just fun to listen to. And second, it's just really cool to hear him talk about this kind of stuff with such passion that you won't get from simply reading it. So check it out. It's awesome. And finally, number 3, I was talking with a friend the other day about movies and books, and a horrible realization set in that I never saw coming. There are people on this planet who have not heard of Redwall. That's right, number 3, Redwall by Brian Jakes. I once cited Dragons in Our Midst as the book that really inspired me as a reader and as a writer, but somehow I had completely forgotten about Redwall. Redwall is the most charming book series about a bunch of woodland creatures living in a castle. It's all about them and their shenanigans, defending the castle against vermin, going on adventures, saving fair mice maidens. It's an incredible series that has everything. Pirates, royalty, warriors, badgers. It is such a good series. It's hilarious at times, it's heartwarming, it's inspiring, and it's just so darn fun to read. Some of my best times as a reader I've ever had were reading the Redwall series. Seriously, check it out. That is going to be it from me today. Thank you again for joining me. Don't forget that my new book, Lightbringer, is going to be coming out on Tuesday, June 2nd. If you're anywhere near as excited for this book as I am, check the link in the description so that you can pre-order it now and be one of the first to read it on Tuesday. If you would like more tips on better writing and how to be more creative, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to stay notified. This has been David Webb. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again, but until then, get some writing done.